Hi. It's been an interesting day. I'm kind of tired, and today I think I'll talk about the news. So, the scandal in New York is apparently big news today. It involved a teacher who created an assignment where basically, let me turn off my air, where the students had to write an essay pretending they were German citizens in the 1930s and they were advocating for the societal removal of the Jewish populace. And I like that assignment. And I like that assignment because you have to view the other side of the um, question, which is why was Hitler bad? And why did the German people go along with that if Hitler was bad? So I liked that assignment. I thought that assignment was great. I thought it was geared toward to the perfect age. And I was reading comments where these high schoolers shouldn't have to do that. That should just be a college level thing. And I disagree. And the reason why I disagree is because of the Constitution. The Constitution says that 18-year-olds can vote. That's an amendment. You can look it up. I'm pretty sure that's the 25th Amendment. And 18-year-olds are in high school. So we're saying that, okay, you can think to create the ruler, but we don't want you to think about why you should elect a certain ruler. You should just trust everything that you see, hear, and read. And that's not true. If that was true, that they should do that, then it would be really easy for anyone to come up with this person. Let's call him John Doe. You can create a John Doe ruler who is exactly like Hitler, but you can say that when he grew up, his main ambition was to change the world. Hitler also changed the world. Okay? To art and John Doe wants to help young people realize their potential, wants to give young people the ability to go swimming. That Hitler created a swimming pool in the area of Germany where my grandmother was living. So to say that they don't know how to think, any high schoolers don't know how to think, and that their consciences aren't formed, and that they don't have the ability to think critically, I think points out something that is critically wrong with our education system as a whole. For example, and let me just say right now that I don't disagree with the student's reasoning that I don't want to do this. Well, I disagree with his reasoning. I agree that he shouldn't have to do that assignment if he doesn't think so, but he should provide a a letter to the teacher saying why it is that he doesn't want to do this assignment. Because doing the assignment and not doing the assignment, in terms of what this assignment is, are basically the same thing. They involve using the same skills. Because the kid who isn't doing the assignment is questioning the authority of the teacher in creating this assignment. And the students who are doing this assignment are questioning the authority of the ruler to not to choose to do something. And in this case, it's a bad thing with getting rid of the Jewish populace. But on the same token, they involve the same thing. They involve the questioning of authority. And I like this assignment. This assignment is really great. I can't stress that enough. When I was growing up in Catholic school, I went there 3rd through 8th grade, and then my sophomore and junior year, basically. And one of the things that I was taught was Hitler was a bad man, and that the German populace went along with him unquestioningly. And what I would always ask was, Why? I mean, looking back on history now, we can see quite clearly that this is a really bad idea. But what is it that made him think that this was a decent solution? And I, when I was in eighth grade, or not eighth grade, seventh grade even, seventh grade rather, I was looking up what it, what made the German people go along with these policies. Um, and some of the things that I came up with was that Hitler scapegoated the Jews as these really bad people because they were in charge of the money. They were the bankers of society, and that they were responsible for the depression that Germany was in, and they were hit the hardest in the depression because of the fact that they had to pay for the damages of World War I, and the difference and why we didn't see World War III decently close to the end of World War I has to be because we realized that, oh wait, these countries that lost were doing so, were fighting for this one cause that maybe they really didn't necessarily believe in. But to say that that one problem is what started it is wrong. And to say to Germany, who would be in charge of paying for the entire war again, to make them pay for it would be really counterproductive. It would have caused World War III. But instead, we're like, well, we understand now kind of why you did that, which is the fact that you were really punished harshly in World War II and had no ability to repay because of the collapsed economy. And the end of World War II makes sense. The end of World War I, and by the end I mean the post-war, right? The peace treaty. I'm not talking about like the dropping of the atomic bomb or anything like that. No, it makes sense now why we did what we did at the end of World War II. World War I is really stupid, but it must be said that Wilson had some great ideas, which is the creation of the League of Nations. The only problem, of course, is that the US didn't join, and part of the problem was because they didn't fight the war. They didn't fight the same war that they did in World War II. If Japan would have joined in World War I and attacked Pearl Harbor, I'm really certain that the US would have joined the United Nations. And I like people thinking critically, looking up stuff, researching. I don't want to have dumb people in society because that doesn't benefit society at all. I want people who are not necessarily like questioning authority, like why do you think that you have the right to arrest me right now? I don't want I don't necessarily want that, but I want, why is this a law? And why are you enforcing it this way? That's what I want. I don't want people to be unquestioning in authority in any matters, in buying a bunch of stuff because a commercial says that you will need this to survive. And you don't necessarily. I mean, certain exceptions include like food and water and so on. But for the most part, the things that you see on paid programming, if we view the teenagers that as we do, um, they should be the ones who are keeping these people in business. And if that's the case, then we definitely need to rethink that amendment where we allow 18-year-olds to vote. If that's not the case, that they aren't the main ones buying, then I think that we need to re-examine the issues of this assignment and this big whole hoopla over whether or not the teacher was right in assigning that. And I am just annoyed at the US and the US education system. And it must be said, though, that part of the reason why I feel like I flourished in public education was because they actively sought people questioning people saying stuff like why did Mexico um, send the Zimmerman letters, and does that have any bearing into how Chicano literature is viewed today? And my answer to those questions is going to be in another video, in probably tomorrow. But to argue that teenagers don't have any critical thinking skills, I think that's BS. And I don't think that people are giving teenagers enough credit, and that's going to always be the case. But it must be said that some of the most amazing discussions that I've ever had involving um, the media culture and how that's influenced by the populace and how the media influences the populace. That occurred in high school. And that's something that I still carry with me. And if anyone would ever want to debate that with me, I would love to do that. And so basically, the too long didn't view version of this post is that was a great assignment, and he thought the teenagers were capable of, I think, what they are capable of. And I don't like the comments on articles because they do seem to be really not well thought out.